All right. So let's just say you make about $7,000 a month after taxes. All right, cool. I can tell you where every dollar should go in about 5 minutes, so just sit tight. And no, I'm not going to tell you that you can't go to Starbucks, can't go on vacations or buy shoes, that you got to sit in the house eating beans for the next 4 years. I want you to actually enjoy your money. But first, your money needs structure. Because making good money without a system is exactly how people make $80,000, $100,000, or even $150,000 a year and somehow still live paycheck to paycheck. So grab your calculator. We about to use $7,000 a month take home as an example. So here's the system. So we're going to call number one 55% live. First number, $7,000 times 0.55 equals $3,850. That's your life. Rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, transportation, insurance, phone bill, the stuff required to keep your household functioning. Essentials. You got $3,850 to work with. And here's where people are going to realize they don't have an income problem. They have an overhead problem. Because if you bring home $7,000 and your basic lifestyle costs $5,500, man, you already cooked before we even start talking about building wealth. All right. Your lifestyle ate all your margin. And that's why I'm putting the ceiling on it, 55%. Now, you might be at 60% right now, maybe 65. All right, fine. Don't panic. All right. But now you've got a target. We got to get it down to 55%. We need to start pushing that number down because the lower your required monthly expenses become, the more powerful your paycheck becomes. So number two is the 5%. We're going to call that enjoy. So we're going to take $7,000 times 0.05 equals $350. That's guilt-free money. Yes. I said you can spend it. You can run it up. You can go out to eat, buy the shoes, get the coffee, take your wife out, buy the video game, whatever you want to do. You've got $350 that you're allowed to enjoy without sitting there feeling guilty about it. Because here's where budgets fail. People create these ridiculously restricted budgets where there's absolutely no room to breathe. Then 3 weeks later, they snap. Now they're spending everything. And that's the financial version of going on a crash diet and then eating the whole refrigerator. We ain't doing that. So discipline needs boundaries, not misery. Now, number three is 10%. And we're going to call that the kill. It's time to get aggressive. 7,000 times 0.10 equals $700. That's your debt-killing money. Credit cards, personal loans, car debt, whatever consumer debt is choking your cash flow. Man, we attacking it. And don't just sprinkle $700 across 7 different balances forever. Pick a strategy. Debt snowball, debt avalanche, whatever you're actually going to stick to, and then attack. Because every debt you eliminate creates more monthly margin. That means eventually that $700 payment disappears. But here's the important part. Your discipline doesn't disappear with it. When the debt dies, we redirect that money towards building wealth. That's how the system starts speeding up. Now, number 4 is the 15%. And we're going to call that the save for what's coming next. $7,000 times 0.15 equals $1,050. This is your sinking fund money, okay? You got a vacation coming? All right, here. You need another car eventually? Here it is. Saving for a house? This is what it is. Big purchase? This is the fun for that. Because I need y'all to understand something. Not every large expense is an emergency. Christmas comes every December. Your car will eventually need tires. You already know you're taking that vacation. So stop acting surprised by expenses you knew were coming. Save for them before they arrive. Now, that's how you stop putting predictable life expenses on credit cards. So, number 5 is another 15%. And we're going to call that build wealth. $7,000 times 0.15 equals another $1,050 invested. This is not money sitting in your checking account, not randomly spending whatever is left over. It's invested. Retirement accounts, broad market index funds, whatever investment strategy makes sense for your situation. But the principle is simple. Part of every paycheck needs to purchase your future. Because if you bring home $7,000 every month but invest $0, look, you're not necessarily building wealth. And there's a difference. This is where the entire system comes together. Now, watch. You made $7,000. $3,850 runs your life. $350 lets you enjoy your life. $700 attacks your past decisions. $1,050 prepares for your future purchases, and another $1,050 builds your future wealth. Every dollar has somewhere to report, and that's what budgeting is supposed to feel like. Not, I can't spend any money. It's, I already decided where my money is going, and that's a completely different mindset. Now, here's the part most people will miss. These percentages aren't commandments. Your numbers might need adjusting. If you're drowning in high interest debt, maybe investing gets reduced temporarily and debt gets more aggressive. If you're debt free, beautiful. All right. Now that 10% can be redirected. If your housing costs are insane right now, you may not hit 55% immediately. But the percentages give you something most people don't have. And that's a target, because the worst budget isn't necessarily the one with imperfect percentages. The worst budget is, I get paid Friday and I'll figure it out. No, man, we done doing that. Your paycheck needs instructions before it arrives, because money without instructions tends to disappear. And then we sit around wondering, where'd it all go? Bro, you never told it where to go. And, that's the system. Live, enjoy, kill debt, prepare, and invest. Plain and simple. And if you can consistently live like this while increasing your income, now we got something dangerous. Because when your income increases, don't immediately increase your lifestyle. Increase the gap. That's where wealth starts getting built, not just from what you make, but from what you control. All right? Rich by Discipline, we out. Peace. Oh, and make sure you get the Rich by Discipline guide. The link is in the description, and it's on the bio of my channel. All right? You ready to get your money together? You ready to start investing, budgeting, everything? Tap in with me. It's only $9.99. All right? Peace.